Welcome to Female New Mexican's Political Point of View. Today on the show, we have Judge Barbara J. Vigil, who is a candidate for the State Supreme Court open position. If chosen, Judge Vigil will go on to the ticket for the general election and run against a Republican candidate. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mary Jane.
Our first question is always about family. Tell us a little bit about your family connections and your history here in New Mexico.
Well, I am a native New Mexican. I was born in Albuquerque and raised in Santa Fe. My family roots are ranchers and farmers in New Mexico. I was raised in a very traditional Hispanic family. My mother's side of the family was from the North Valley in Albuquerque, and we grew vegetables and sold vegetables on North 4th Street. My father's side of the family, the Vigils, are from Los Riachuelos, which is a small mountain community in northern New Mexico above Abiquiu. And they raised cattle and farmed and lived there in that community. So I come from a very traditional Hispanic native family and upbringing. At the age of 12, my mother died suddenly, and I was sent to St. Catherine's Indian School, where I was raised and attended school as a boarder. It was a boarding school for Native American children, and so I lived there along with my sisters at St. Catherine's and graduated from St. Catherine's Indian School in Santa Fe. I did spend a short time of my young life in Taos, New Mexico, and started school in Taos, New Mexico for a short while, and then my family did move to Santa Fe, and following that period of time my mother did pass away, so I did attend St. Kate's for high school. I graduated from St. Catherine's Indian School as valedictorian in 1977, and I went on to attend New Mexico State University in Las Cruces, where I attained a bachelor's degree in accounting. I then applied to the University of New Mexico as well as a number of law schools throughout the country. I was accepted to all the law schools I applied to, and I did choose the University of New Mexico primarily because I knew I had to support myself throughout my law school and college years, and I felt that that was the best choice for me, and I'm glad I have a law degree from the University of New Mexico.
You're a UNM graduate for your law school, so tell us a little bit more about your career and your experience as a lawyer and as a judge.
I started my legal career in Las Cruces, and I joined a law firm down in Las Cruces and practiced law in Las Cruces for 4 years. And in that practice, I was able to do a variety of civil and criminal work in a general law firm. In that period of time, I became very interested in children's law, and I was appointed as guardian ad litem to represent children in child abuse and neglect cases. After 4 years of practicing law in Las Cruces, which I loved very much, represented a number of people in Las Cruces, I decided to move to Santa Fe, which was my hometown, and move back to Santa Fe, which I did, and I worked for the Attorney General's office in Santa Fe. I spent a short period of time in my career working for the State Risk Management Division. Then I decided to go out and branch out on my own in Santa Fe and start my own law practice. My own law practice was a challenge in that I represented children, families, elders in a variety of cases. I was able to manage my own law office as a small business owner, pay salaries, pay taxes, manage my law practice, go to court, and I was successful in my law practice in that I was able to recover large judgments in state and federal court for many of my clients who were victims of discrimination. So some of my proudest moments were, of course, receiving large verdicts or large settlements from my clients who had been subjected to discrimination and who I had represented and was able to get them their award for that unlawful conduct that they were subjected to. In my law practice, I also continued my commitment to serving children. And I began to focus my law practice and my activities into representing more and more children in abuse and neglect cases. In the year 2000, there was a vacancy on the district court bench, and that vacancy was specifically for a children's court judge, and I decided to run for that position, and did run for that position in a contested primary race, and I was successful. Primarily because I understood what it was like to run a grassroots campaign and reach out to people in my district, no matter who they were and what they stood for. I shook hands, I went to very many events, and I had represented so many people in these cases. So that was an experience that I was very fortunate to go through and be successful at. So in the year 2000, I then became a children's court judge in the 1st District Court. The 1st District is comprised of Los Alamos, Rio Arriba, and Santa Fe counties. And I began serving the public as a children's court judge. In that role, I handled family court disputes. I was also a leader as a judge in the advocacy of children, for children, and getting resources into New Mexico to serve at-risk children after school or to supervise them, various programs across New Mexico. So I was very instrumental in garnering public resources for children, for at-risk children in the programs that they served. I did that for 10 years. For 10 years I presided over children's court and family court. I then decided to move into the civil division, and I've presided over civil court cases for the last 2 years.